To determine who killed 4 University of Idaho students. The Uber driver who picked up 2 of the victims the night of their murders is confirming with News Nation nothing suspicious happened during their drive home. News Nation's Alex Capriello spoke with the driver about any details he had to share about that night. Alex?
Natasha, good evening to you. For the very first time, we're hearing from this rideshare driver who picked up right there on the side of the road on the night of the murders. Now, his testimony is incredibly important because it helps build additional context about that ride, as well as establish credibility to the timeline that the police have established.
News Nation tracked down and spoke to the Uber driver who was likely one of the last people to see Idaho murder victims Kaylee Goncalves and Maddie Mogan alive. In an exclusive conversation with the driver, who asked to remain anonymous, he says he knows Maddie, Kaylee, and XANA and shared what he remembered about the ride, a drive he says he thinks about every single day. I have a very good memory, the driver tells News Nation. I wasn't followed. There was no one there. There was absolutely nothing strange about that street. It was just a normal night on Greek Row. He says Kaylee and Maddie were not nervous or apprehensive in any way. The driver turned himself into the police days later, sharing his GPS coordinates and alibi, critical evidence to prove his innocence.
Thank you for watching.
And I could watch them and just cry, just to have them captured. And Maddie with that big old jacket, and and Kaylee saying, "Maddie's."
We can share it.
We could share it, and it just so Kaylee and Maddie.
And you hear about kids that
and the
drink
pictures
and drive. They got a professional driver to take them back. They did everything the way you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
They even had chaperone walking with them. They weren't going down dark alleys by themselves.
The really popular pictures of the 4 roommates and Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
I love those pictures.
They were taken that day. They were taken earlier. Kaylee texted them to me about a little after 2 on Saturday, and with Maddie up on her shoulders, and that is the last text message that I have from Kaylee, is that picture of her and Maddie, and I replied to it, "My lovies," with heart eyes, and then we had a phone call after that, and that was the last time I talked to Kaylee. But that picture of Maddie on her shoulders is the last text message that I have from Kaylee, and it's around 2:13 on Saturday.
There's just no way to know what was coming.
No. And I look at that picture, and I just think I would never thought that this would be the last picture, or that phone call that I got, 20 minutes after that picture was going to be the last phone call. You just don't think that. And it's real. It's realer than real. I mean, it really is.
It is. Well,
Do you all remember when this picture was circulating around the internet? The beginning? There was a man with a mask knocking people's door. I wonder who that was. Jackass? BK? Jack D? Trigger warning. Jack S had this on his Facebook. So he has access to knives. Look at how the knife looks now. Has it been used? Allegedly? The house is no longer standing. It's gone. Evidence are lost. Where's the 3 unidentified male DNAs that was supposed to be submitted in the beginning? The prosecutor, William Thompson, said he couldn't find it. He said that they did not receive it. Do you remember? He said, what are we supposed to do if you don't have it? He's having a fit. So the evidence is gone. The house is gone. The surviving roommates have moved on. DM is parting, recovering, healing, whatever we can call it. The 3 victims are smiling from their hearts. I don't know about the 2 surviving roommates. That's just my thoughts. There is Dylan and her boyfriend, Quincy. He said he was in Boise, Idaho that night. But nobody believes him. He was seen by the college kids in Moscow that night, in front of the victim's house. The one with the pink ski mask is Dylan, assume.
Got a call about a disturbance outside a frat house, just a short walk from the crime scene. The murders happened not long after that call. But is there a connection? Jim Murray reports.
A mysterious 911 call sent cops rushing to the street the night the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered. Police logs from that fateful night show a disturbance in this field outside the Sigma Chi fraternity. The Moscow, Idaho Police Daily Activity Log reveals officers responded to an alcohol offense at 3:01 a.m. That's right around the time police say the murders were committed. How close is that frat house to the murder scene? Let me show you. Here's the frat house. You walk across the street and right through these apartment buildings. You then continue up this narrow path, and then you walk up these wooden stairs. And there you are, right at the house.
Where was the couple between 9:45 to 1:45? Or sorry, between 9 p.m. to 1:45. There's a big black hole. There's no social media pictures of them after the Sigma Chi fraternity party. Is that what Bethany Funk saw? Is that the exculpatory evidence that she has? I wonder what they will say when they testify. The police clearly said to Fox News, I did not say that they are witnesses. They were just there. So I don't think the police believes the surviving roommates, the story. Why would it take 8 hours to call the police? That just doesn't add up. They're texting each other. Jack Showalter drove to his parents' cabin in Boise, Idaho. It took him 6 hours. That was his alibi, allegedly. And then it was said that he went with his parents to Kenya or South Africa, to Africa. That was the rumors that was going on. But the one that I really believe happened was that Jack Showalter drove to his parents' cabin that night. Why would some young 21-year-old man who's been drinking, who's been harassing women in corner clubs, etc., allegedly, why would he drive 2 a.m. at night? And what a coincidence, a quadruple murder takes place within those times, that timeline. Showalter seems to be always getting himself up in some mess, and his parents seem to be cleaning up after him, allegedly. You can see by his pattern of getting kicked out of the fraternity, and his parents were paying his rent in this first block, the first block you see in Queens Road. Look at how close he lived from the girls. I wonder if his alibi was solid. I wonder if they took DNA evidence of him so that they could compare it later. Just because you're ruled out doesn't mean you're ruled out completely. There's going to be that reasonable doubt. Just in case Brian Christopher Koberger gets a mistrial with lack of evidence, Brady's gigolo material, you have a cop who's under investigation for a previous investigation that he lied in. We don't know how they collected the evidence. Now the house is gone. It was a tearful moment for me, I'm sure for plenty of us, because it's just so unfair that I personally don't believe that enough evidence has been collected from that house. Let's not lie. The first thing that happened after this horrific quadruple murders is Chief Fry and Captain Lanier and their team started giving away the stuff, items that were inside the murder scene to the families of the 4 victims. I know the families need the remembrance and need the memories and need a closure, but this is part of a quadruple case. Somebody's been accused of killing 4 people, unaliving 4 people. Nothing should have gone out of that crime scene and the house should have remained, period. This is going to backfire them. I personally believe that. That is a real unprofessional move to make. I think Ann Taylor and her team, the defense attorney and her team, are not saying much because they're going to use it in their defense. Just because they're saying it's all right, we're done with the house, does not necessarily mean they're done. This house was going to be taken down from day one. And this is not about